What's up guys, it's Tom here and welcome to the West Ham Manchester City post-match analysis video, and also I will be talking about VAR a lot in this video. So what do you think about VAR and how it's implemented in the Premier League? Because there has been some very close calls, very close decisions in the West Ham Man City game. I'm a big fan of VAR. I think it really helps our referees, but when there is a toenail or like a couple of millimeters between the striker and the defender, and there is no way that you can objectively really tell whether a player is like offside when the margins are just millimeters. I mean, there is one person who decides when exactly is the moment when the attacker passes the ball and when the offside is actually taken a look at. So that's not objective. I think we need more technology to maybe put a microchip in the ball just to determine when exactly is the moment when the attacker who is giving the assist for the goal is kicking the ball, and also who decides where to put those lines at the player's armpits, where it is measured whether the attacker is like 2 millimeters ahead of the defender. I mean, I was happy, of course, that Man City got a goal disallowed, but objectively, I think there is still room for improvement for VAR. If the decisions are like so close, when there is like a millimeter or two between the attacker and the defender, and you can't really tell just by looking at a simple replay, I think the attackers should be in favor instead of the defense, because if you can't tell even by watching 2 or 3 replays and you like have to freeze frame it and go frame by frame, I think at that point you should favor an attacking team, so there will be more goals. But that's just my opinion, and I would love to hear what is your opinion in the comments below. Do you like VAR or not? Let me know. And there was actually a very interesting scenario as well, where Man City scored. Man City got awarded a penalty, which was a penalty by the way, and Aguero missed the penalty, but because the player who cleared the rebound after Aguero's missed penalty, Declan Rice, encroached into the area. So Declan Rice was in the penalty box when Aguero took the penalty, and that's not allowed. The penalty was retaken, and I think that's a brilliant decision, even though I didn't want Man City to score like so many goals today. That's actually a very good decision, because last season I remember in the Arsenal-Tottenham game or Tottenham-Arsenal game, Aubameyang had a penalty saved and Vertonghen cleared the rebound off the line, and Vertonghen was like yards inside the penalty box at the exact moment when Aubameyang took that penalty. I saw a picture of that today, and I think that if VAR is in place at that game, that penalty would have been retaken. By the way, what a game for Raheem Sterling. He scores a hat-trick and he could have had 4 goals if his disallowed goal would have been given by VAR. So overall, Man City fully deserved this win, and this is frightening because Man City had Aguero and Bernardo Silva only on the bench, and they are without Leroy Sané, and Man City looked like a well-oiled machine. They left off just like where they stopped last season. They left off at exactly the same way. They are a relentless goal-scoring machine, and I was very disappointed by West Ham. Honestly, I expected West Ham to take the game to Man City, but apart from one big chance where Chicharito can only knee the ball towards the goal and Ederson saves it, and a rebound was also saved by Ederson, West Ham didn't really threaten and the Man City goal. They didn't really attack Manchester City. They looked like they just accepted defeat and rolled down. And this was actually not the best Man City performance by any stretch. Actually, they can play much better. And even in like 3rd or 4th gear, Man City scored 5 goals. They had a goal disallowed, and they could have even scored 6 or 7 goals. And I was very impressed by Manchester City, but also extremely disappointed by the West Ham performance, because I really thought that West Ham should have done much better. I'm not saying that West Ham should have being gung-ho, but they had players like Antonio, players like Felipe Anderson, Chicharito, Lanzini, attacking threats that on another day, really, if they are in form, they can trouble any team in the Premier League. And it's really, really weird because in the past few seasons, West Ham have always lost heavily to Man City. They had 4-0 and 4-1 defeats at home. But when they go to the Etihad and when they play Man City away from home, it's always a scrappy one-goal victory for Manchester City. Like, why is that? Why is West Ham so much more fragile at home? Maybe because of the crowd, they are attacking a little bit more and they are more open. But they should have been more disciplined in their defensive shape. I mean, Diop was all over the place. Sometimes he lost Gabriel Jesus time and time again, and Gabriel Jesus opened the scoring after Kyle Walker straight up just out sprints the West Ham left back Aaron Cresswell. And really, West Ham should have defended much better. Also, maybe West Ham could have had a penalty. Lanzini had an instance with Rodri where maybe he was fouled, but the referee didn't give it, and ultimately West Ham thoroughly deserved to lose heavily today because they just almost offered nothing going forward. I'm actually very happy with VAR. My only complaint is that when the margins are like millimeters and when you have to freeze it frame by frame, you should be favoring the attacking team, even if that team is Manchester City. And I don't think Liverpool fans should bother about goal difference because I don't think realistically Liverpool can win the Premier League on goal difference. Man City, with their strength in depth, probably will just score a lot more goals overall during the season than Liverpool. But if I think about last season, where a lot of things went Liverpool's way, there was only just 5 goals between Liverpool and Manchester City. So that means that the goal difference that Man City won the league with was just 5 goals better than Liverpool. So maybe Liverpool can catch Manchester City, but the margin for error during this Premier League era where Man City are winning Premier League titles on the bounce is very little. I mean, last season Man City dropped points in just 6 games. That means that they won 32 games and they just didn't win 6. Which means that if you want to win the title, you basically have to have 33 wins and 5 games where you don't win the title. And even those 5 games, most of them can't be defeats. So it's a very almost, you have to be almost perfect if you want to win the title, but that's what Liverpool are up against. And I think Liverpool have the team to do it. Our starting 11 can beat most of the sides in the Premier League. The problem is Man City also have a team and a squad that can beat most of the Premier League teams. So I think again Liverpool and Man City will probably finish on 90 plus points, judging by the first round. It's very early, of course, and you can't really predict anything, but if major injuries avoid Liverpool, then I think Liverpool can get to 90 plus points. The big question is, will Man City also get to 90 plus points? And at this moment it looks like it, because even without Leroy Sané, I mean, Mahrez had 2 assists plus he was also fouled for the penalty. So if you count that as an assist, Mahrez contributed to 3 goals. So even without Leroy Sané, they have Riyad Mahrez, a player that is just almost as good as Leroy Sané in their side. I think the key to Manchester City winning the title and getting to 95 plus points is, can Aguero stay fit for the 2nd season in a row? Because last season, probably when Liverpool needed it the most, Aguero didn't get an injury spell. He always gets injured during the season for a month or 6 weeks or even more sometimes. Last season it didn't happen. Last season Aguero had just 1 or 2 small knocks, otherwise he was fit for most of the season. The big question is, can Aguero stay fit for the whole season, for the 2nd season in a row? Because if not, I think Aguero is the one player that maybe Manchester City can't replace for a prolonged period. I'm saying like 4 weeks. If Man City are without Aguero for like 4 or 5 weeks, they will drop points. Because you can't just rely on Raheem Sterling and Mahrez. But Man City have so many world-class players, I can't stress this enough. They had Bernardo Silva and Aguero on the bench, and they were just incredible. So at the moment, it's Man City still who are the team to beat in England, and I'm really looking forward to the season. I think it will be down to these two teams. What I'm also hoping for is that Arsenal and Man United and Tottenham, who all made good signings, hopefully they will take points off Manchester City, because last season, like Arsenal lost home and away to Man City. I think Man United lost home and away to Man City as well, and I think Tottenham as well. So I really hope that the top 6 battles will be closer, especially for Man City, because against Liverpool all the teams go hard and all the teams go 100%, but maybe against Man City some teams give up even before playing. But I really hope that that will be not the case, especially for the big teams this season. Let's hope that's the case. Next week will be very telling. Man City will play Tottenham at the Etihad. I think that game will be a lot more revealing on what we can expect this season from Man City and also from Tottenham. That will be a huge test for both teams. Really looking forward to it. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this. Have a nice day. See you later. Goodbye.